Hey everybody, welcome to my corner of the world where we chat about life and live it together. As you can tell by today's title, it's gonna be kind of a sad video. This is my farewell Phoenix video. So I wanted to just kind of make a video about, closing this season of my time here in Phoenix, chatting about the stuff that I was able to be a part of, the ways that God moved, the things that God did in my life and in my career, and just how good He is. By the time this video goes live, because I'm making it earlier, I will be in Nashville. It's surreal and it's kind of scary. Pretty nerve-wracking, if I'm being honest. And I had no idea, even just months ago, that I would ever move to Tennessee. At the beginning of 2020, I was praying over the year, and God told me that I would move, or that Tad and I would move to Nashville. It was crazy because it seemed like a dream. I mean, Nashville is like awesome, right? It's like, the Bible Belt, a lot of music happens there. So obviously for my career, it's something that could really take off, God willing, obviously. But I definitely sought good counseling and surrounded myself and surrounded Tad and I with wise people who could really pray into that and really help us seek that answer, if that was God or if it was just us wanting to move, because we had been wanting to move for a while to get out of the heat. We just we don't feel physically well here a lot. And so it was kind of like, is this us or is this something that God is really taking us into? But it just seemed like every interaction that we had with people that we surrounded ourselves with, there was just a peace that passed understanding. There was just a great excitement over us choosing something that we really wanted and that we knew the Lord was giving us grace for. And so it seemed like it was just the right thing to do. So it was definitely a God thing. We know this is a God thing. We know that He has opened many doors for us to move, even to the point of making the transition so smooth. Like everything has been so smooth and just so easy. And He's just provided financially and emotionally for us to make this a dream. And so we really feel the Lord behind us in this move. And there's just that wind on our back, So I moved to Phoenix 5 years ago in August. So it'll be 5 years really when we head out to Nashville. And I didn't really know if I would stay in Arizona. I had no idea if I would move back to Michigan or if I would ever move anywhere else. I've just kind of let the Lord take over. I really have. I've really just, my dad heard a word for me before I moved here that he's like, I really feel like the Lord's just saying, let it happen, make it happen. And that's been my phrase that I've carried ever since I moved here is let things that God has for you happen, but then step in faith and do the hard work to make things happen that He's called you to. And I feel like I've lived that out really well, that I've been very open-minded and open-hearted to where the Lord's taking me and where He wants us as a family and, where He wants to use me in my career as well. When I first moved to Arizona, I was very broken. I was hurting a lot, very insecure, but also very curious at the same time where God was taking me. And I had no idea what God had for me. I had no idea. I knew something was big. I knew that He had some great thing for me in Phoenix. But you obviously don't know. You can assume and you can guess, but you just never really know what He has for you. But He blessed me more than I ever thought He would. And it doesn't look exactly how I thought it would. It's better. So Living Streams was the first church that I visited. My friend Anna, you guys know Anna, she found it on Google when she first came here. We were suite mates, and that's how we knew each other. We were in the same program, so we clicked. And the first Sunday that we were living together at GCU, we went to Living Streams, and the first church we visited, it's the church I stayed at all 5 years, and obviously now I'm working there. It's the church I've stuck with, and I got plugged in right away. I started serving my second semester of freshman year. I got involved right away and just absolutely fell in love with the people and the opportunities that it seemed like they were really giving me, and it just felt once again like a God thing, like this is it. This is where I have you, Eden. So at GCU, I became an RA my sophomore year. So I was an RA for my sophomore year. the summer after sophomore year and then my junior year as well. So I got to counsel and lead and teach and love on up to 75 girls, freshman girls at a time on campus. I lived in freshman dorms my entire college career except my last semester. And that was hard for a few reasons. It's just hard to love on that many people and be a leader to that many girls at one time, but also just not being able to cook, and that was kind of frustrating. But looking back, it was such a good opportunity for me to learn how to love when I'm really, really uncomfortable in my own living space and having to have roommates and that, that whole college process. But I was really, really honored to be an RA and learn how to lead in that capacity. I wrote and recorded originals on our campus and in our studio at GCU. I was taught by some of the best in the biz at that school, including songwriters, audio engineers, professors, pastors, worship pastors, all of these amazing people who are so just have a depth with Jesus that is insane, and the talent level was just crazy at the school. I grew so much in my talent, it's just insane. I met, got engaged, and married my husband all within a year and a half while still being in college. I did get married before I graduated college, and that was crazy. That was definitely another God thing, because my dad was so adamant about, you're not getting married before you graduate. You move there for school. And we got married before I graduated. We made it happen. Right? Let it happen, make it happen, Dad. Love you. I went on a trip to Honduras with some really good friends a few years back. It was actually the summer that we got engaged. And I served musically and physically leading worship, and I taught sermons and served in a brigade where we treated them medically and checked kids' hair for lice and did all this awesome stuff for a community that really was hurting, and we got to bless them in many, many ways. At church, I got to lead huge VBS gatherings that had like 500 plus kids on our campus, and I got to revamp the whole way that they did VBS worship, which was such a blessing. As an intern at the church, I got the opportunity to learn how to teach children, junior high and high school kids, what the presence of God is like. And because of the VBS worship, I was able to help launch this new way that Living Streams does their children's worship. And so that's including incorporating headset mics and dance moves and just this pure fun of teaching kids how fun the presence of God can be and what it's like to just foolishly dance for Him. I was so blessed and honored to kind of head up that project with some other people that helped out with the tech side of it. But it was the Lord's way of moving through me for children that He really prompted this just newness in my heart to teach kids in a really fun way. And the church was fully behind me to totally redo the children's center and just make it this super fun, exciting experience for kids. And so it was so fun to be a part of that project. And then, releasing that Fearless Praise single. I'm sure you guys have heard it because I talk about it quite a bit. But I'm so proud of that. Like, even though it's a single, and originally we wanted to do an album, but Corona, came about. It was difficult not to be able to do that while I was here. But releasing that single was so much fun, and it was just the best process because I know I meant to be a songwriter. I know I meant to write worship music for the church, but more specifically, I feel this call to children's worship, which in the future I'll dive into more. But that was such a big milestone for me to, in-house with some of the most talented people I've ever met, be able to record in our own studio and release it all on our own. Like, it was just the most fun experience, and we released it for our Dwell conference this past February, and it's so crazy to look back and think I got to be a part of that. Like, I got to release a single with these amazing people for children that I absolutely love. It was just such an awesome experience. I got to lead many camps, retreats, and conferences, including leading Carrie Job and Cody Carnes in worship. Yeah, that's right. And also got to lead with awesome leaders like Meredith Andrews. Our church got to lead with her on a Sunday morning. We got to lead with John Egan from New Life Church in Colorado. And then Chris Kilala from Jesus Culture too. Just the immense amount of opportunity that I've had being here and being able to just grow my talent, grow in who I am, but also make a lot of messes. And have to clean up a lot of messes that you just learn in ministry, and that you learn, handling and dealing with people. Just how I'm just very blessed that I was able to learn about worship at school while also being able to practically use what I was learning right away in ministry, and also learn things in ministry that you just can't learn when you go to school for it. Sometimes you just got to do it, it's like kind of just getting your hands dirty and throwing them to the wolves, just stepping in and getting really messy and really dirty and learning things as you go. I was really blessed to have both. I was really blessed to be taught it educationally, but then actually put it to use literally. So I'm really thankful that God just placed living streams in my lap, really. And I guess to wrap up here, in a lot of ways, it's easy to leave Phoenix because it's hot, and physically I dealt with a lot of health issues with my heart palpitations and hormone issues because of the heat, and we just know we don't function well out here. But it's also really hard to leave too, because I healed out here from a lot of trauma. I went to one of the best schools ever, I think. I met my husband out here. I got to lead hundreds, if not thousands, of people in worship, and be able to lead young people to know what it's like to live a good life with Jesus. And I met my best friend out here. Fell in love, and graduated college with all the accomplishments that I achieved, and graduated married with a 3.8 GPA, summa cum laude, and I got to lead with the best people in the business of worship. And I just look back at my time here, and there's a song called Remembrance by Hillsong, and the bridge gets me every time, and it makes me think about my time here, because when I think about where I was before I actually moved to Phoenix, I remember waking up one morning in a not good spot, and I didn't recognize myself in the mirror, and I knew I had to make a change for my future. I knew I had to make a change for where God was leading me. It was like I woke up and I was like, this is not who I want to be. This is not who I know you've called me to be, God. And I'm supposed to leave this fall for GCU, and I deserve nothing that you have for me out there. I don't deserve to call myself a worship leader and lead people to your presence. I do not deserve that. And God has blessed me more than I could ever imagine. And anyways, this bridge of this song, I'm trying to sing it, but I'm crying. You've been so, so good to me. You've been so, so good to me. Oh, to think where I would be if not for you, if not for you. And every time I sing that or that song comes on, I do believe that Jesus, if you had not saved me, if you had not given me the grace that I didn't deserve, I would be with this awful person who didn't value me. I would be living a very mediocre life that I chose for myself instead of following you. I wouldn't have led with the most inspirational people. I wouldn't have been able to learn how to be a great leader and still learning. And maybe I want to wrap up with this, because why not? If you don't know Jesus and you've never experienced a love so deep and a love so immense that it brings you to your knees and it makes you look back at your life and think, I could not have lived without this love, I want to introduce you to Jesus. Because I've known Jesus my whole life. I've known Jesus and I love him. And I've always loved him. But there was that time in life where I was so broken. And I was so, for some reason, mad at God. Because I wanted to live life my own way. I was choosing things that didn't honor him. I was choosing things that were not good. Because I thought I was better than surrendering to him. And guys, when you choose to live life your own way, it only leads to depression and sadness and confusion and a lack of identity. And if I could give you any encouragement, it's that Jesus has a future for you. Phoenix was that proof for me. Living in Phoenix and marrying a man that is so amazing, and having the opportunities that I've had here is only because I serve a God who is bigger than my past, who is bigger than my mistakes, who is genuinely a good and gracious God who knows us, who sees us in our pain, and offers us a better life than what we're currently choosing. And so for real, if you don't know Jesus, I want to introduce him to you and tell you that I'm living proof. Just the things that are in my life, I am proof that there is a God. I'm proof that Jesus really is real and he does save. Sorry, my cats are making crazy noise. I don't know what they're doing. There are so many reasons why I should not be where I am. For real. I was a crappy person 6-7 years ago. The blessings that I have and the resources, the people, the opportunities that I now have and have overcome and walked through, like I said, is only because of Christ. Oh, to think where I'd be if not for you. And I really believe that. And so if you want to know more about Jesus, I didn't think this would be like a gospel moment, but if you want to know more about Jesus, if something touched your heart, while I was saying that stuff, or you want a life that I live, a life full of joy and peace and just knowledge of a good God, or you feel like I felt 6 or 7 years ago, just broken and lost and hurting, please reach out to me. Please message me, because I want you to have this feeling of, I don't deserve this. Like, this life is too good for me to have, but you give it anyways, a life that I basically, I'm saying goodbye to Phoenix, and it's hard because it was so good, because I can look back and see how good God was in situations that I did not deserve goodness. And I still yet get to look forward to even more goodness in the future, because I know a God who is my Heavenly Father and who loves me. And so for real, please reach out and message me. And I didn't think this video would go there, but here we are. So this is my goodbye Phoenix. Phoenix has held so many memories and so many amazing people and friendships that will last a lifetime. Opportunities that, gosh, I can't even imagine it getting better, but God is that good and he'll always surprise us. So thank you for watching. If you're a Phoenician and you've been in my life, thank you so much for the love and the support and the kindness and the friendship. I'll miss you, but I'll visit and I'll be back. And please visit us in Tennessee, please. We have a 3-bedroom apartment right now, or we're gonna have a 3-bed apartment, so we have space for visitors, so please come visit. But we're really excited. Tad and I are very excited for the next step in our life. I think that's it. So goodbye, Phoenix. It's not goodbye forever. I'll be back. You've held my marriage, graduating college, falling in love, accomplishing goals and dreams I never could have imagined, really how to truly worship our King. I love you all so much. I'm really looking forward to the next thing. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.